She woke up at 4 a.m. every morning to catch fish before sunrise, sold her mother's fishing boat, her family's only source of income, so he could afford bus fare to the city. She waited by the river for 3 years, defending him to every village gossip who said he'd forgotten her. Then one December morning, he came back, in a Range Rover, with a woman wearing a wig that cost more than the entire village's monthly income. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments where you're watching from. We'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss any of our upcoming videos. But to understand this betrayal, we need to go back 3 years, back to the riverside village of Nembe. 3 years ago, in the riverine village of Nembe, lived a young man named Chidi. Nembe is the kind of village where everyone knows everyone, where the only sounds at night are frogs, waves, and prayers, where the only way to make money is fishing, palm wine tapping, or leaving. Chidi was 24 years old, strong, hard-working, but desperately poor. He lived with his widowed mother in a wooden house that flooded every rainy season. His only possessions were 3 shirts, 2 trousers, and dreams that terrified him because they were so big. "I will leave this village," he would say to anyone who would listen. "I will go to Lagos. I will work in oil and gas. I will build a concrete house for my mother that water can never touch." The village men laughed. "Chidi the dreamer, you don't even have secondary school certificate. Which oil company will employ you?" Everyone laughed, everyone except Adaeze. Adaeze was the fisherman's daughter. Every morning at 4 a.m., before the sun thought about rising, Adaeze would paddle her mother's canoe into the creeks. She wore a simple wrapper tied above her chest. No makeup, no wig. Just her natural hair braided in the traditional style that had been passed down 5 generations. Her hands were rough from pulling nets. Her feet were scarred from river stones. Her skin was dark, not the bleached yellow of city girls, but deep, rich, beautiful, like polished ebony. Every morning when Chidi went to help the fishermen haul their catch, Adaeze made sure he got breakfast first. "Eat, Chidi. You're too thin. If you're going to Lagos, you need strength." She believed in him. While others mocked his dreams, she fed them. The village elders would gather under the Iroko tree and gossip. "That Adaeze is wasting her time with Chidi. The boy has nothing. She should marry Chief Okan's son. The boy has a speedboat." But Adaeze's mother understood. "My daughter sees what others cannot see. That boy has something inside him, something the village cannot contain." One evening, after a particularly hard day where Chidi earned only 500 naira for 10 hours of work, he sat on the riverbank throwing stones into the water. Adaeze found him there. She sat beside him, said nothing, just sat in the silence. Finally, Chidi spoke. "What if they're right? What if I'm just a foolish village boy with impossible dreams?" Adaeze took his rough, calloused hand in hers. "Do you know why I wake up at 4 a.m. to fish? Because your family needs money. Because I believe in you," she continued. "Every fish I catch, I sell. Every cent I make, I save. Because one day you will need money to go to Lagos. And when that day comes, I will be ready." Chidi's eyes filled with tears. "Adaeze, why? Why do you believe in me when no one else does?" She smiled that sunrise smile. "Because I see who you will become. And that man will change our story." She was right. He would change their story, just not in the way she imagined. For 2 years, Adaeze saved. Every morning, 4 a.m., she paddles into the creeks, casts the nets, pull in the catch, sell at the market. They hide money in a small wooden box under her mother's bed. While other girls her age were buying wigs and clothes, Adaeze wore the same 3 wrappers and saved every cent. The village girls mocked her. "Adaeze, why are you wearing that old wrapper again? Don't you want to look fine?" "I'm saving money." "For what, Chidi? That man will never amount to anything." But Adaeze never responded to the mockery. She just kept fishing, kept saving, kept believing. Then came the day everything changed. It was a Wednesday morning. Chidi's phone rang, a number he didn't recognize. "Hello? Is this Chidi Okafor?" "Yes, sir. This is Mr. Emeka from Transnational Oil Services in Port Harcourt. Your application for the Junior Operations Assistant position was forwarded to us by Pastor Joshua. We'd like to interview you." Chidi's heart stopped. Pastor Joshua, the only person from Nembe who had ever made it in the city, had remembered him. Sir, thank you, sir. When is the interview? Next Monday, 10 a.m. Port Harcourt office. Can you make it? Chidi's joy crashed immediately. Port Harcourt was 6 hours away by bus. The bus fare was 8,000 naira. He'd need clothes for the interview, at least a decent shirt and trouser. Maybe 10,000 naira for everything. He had 2,300 naira to his name. Sir? Yes, sir, I'll be there. He hung up and immediately felt sick. How would he get 18,000 naira in 5 days? That evening, Adaeze's mother called her. Bring your savings box. Adaeze brought it, confused. Her mother opened it, counted the money. 47,000 naira. 2 years of 4 a.m. mornings. Mama, what are you? Chidi got an interview. Port Harcourt. One he needs money for transport and clothes. How much? He's too ashamed to say, but I know boys. At least 20,000 naira. Adeeze's heart raced. 20,000 naira was almost half her savings. Take it, she said without hesitation. Adaeze, Mama, take it. This is what I've been saving for. But her mother shook her head slowly. No, we need to do more than that. Tomorrow morning, we're selling the boat. Adaeze's world stopped. Mama, not the boat. That's Papa's boat. That's our only source of income. Your Papa died believing that we would use everything he left to build something bigger. Chidi is that something bigger. But how will we fish? How will we eat? We will fish from the shore with hand nets like my grandmother did. We will survive. But that boy, he will thrive. And when he does, he will remember the women who sold their boat so he could sail. The next day, they sold the fishing boat to Chief Okan for 150,000 naira. Chief Okan knew they were desperate. The boat was worth 300,000, but he paid half because he could. That evening, Adaeze came to Chidi's house with a small cloth bag. Inside, 170,000 naira. Chidi stared at the money like it was a hallucination. Adaeze, where did you get this? My savings, and we sold the boat. You sold the boat? Chidi's voice cracked. Adaeze, that's your family's livelihood. That's how you eat. How your mother eats. I can't. She put her hand over his mouth. Listen to me, Chidi Okafor. My mother caught fish with that boat for 20 years. You know what she caught? Just enough to survive. But you will catch dreams. You will catch success. You will catch everything this village cannot give us. Tears streamed down both their faces. When I succeed, I swear on my father's grave, I will buy you a bigger boat. I will build your mother a house. I will marry you properly with the biggest ceremony Nembe has ever seen. Adaeze smiled through her tears. I don't need the biggest ceremony. I just need you to remember this moment when Lagos starts changing you. When city girls with makeup and wigs start looking at you. When you start feeling ashamed of where you came from. I will never be ashamed of you, Adaeze. Never. Promise me. I promise. Chidi got the job. Junior Operations Assistant at Transnational Oil Services. Starting salary, 120,000 naira per month. To the village, he was rich. To Lagos, he was barely surviving. Either the first 6 months were brutal. He lived in a single room with 4 other guys. But Chidi was disciplined. He woke up at 5 a.m., went to work, came home, ate one meal, sent 40,000 naira home every month, 20,000 to his mother, 20,000 to Adaeze's mother. Every Sunday he called Adaeze, "How is the village?" "The village is the village," she would laugh. "Still small, still slow. How is my oil and gas executive?" "Not executive yet, still junior assistant, but I'm learning. Soon I'll send for you. I'm not going anywhere. I'll wait." And she did wait. Every morning, 4 a.m., she and her mother would wade into the shallow water with hand nets, catching enough to eat, nothing more. The village women gossiped. "See how Adaeze is suffering because of Chidi. The boy has forgotten her." But Adaeze defended him. "He sends money every month. He's just building his foundation." Then after 18 months, Chidi got promoted. Operations coordinator. New salary, 280,000 naira. Suddenly he could breathe. He moved to a decent apartment. He bought new clothes. Not designer, but clean. Professional. He bought a used Honda Accord that made him feel like he'd arrived. But something else changed. His colleagues at the oil company were different from village people. They spoke English with American accents from watching too much cable TV. They talked about clubs, restaurants, and weekend getaways to Dubai. They looked at Chidi's phone wallpaper one day. Adaeze in her simple wrapper, holding a fish, smiling that pure smile. "Who is this?" "My woman. She's from my village." Silence. And then laughter. "Village girl, Chidi, you're operations coordinator now. You need a girl that can package herself now. Somebody that will accompany you to company events." Another colleague, Tunde, leaned in. "Seriously, you need an upgrade. This your village girl. She can cook, yes. But can she network? Can she speak English with clients? Can she take Instagram-worthy pictures that will make people envy you?" Chidi felt something ugly stir inside him. Shame. He started seeing Adaeze through their eyes. The wrapper, the fish, the village simplicity. He started imagining her at a company event, standing next to his colleagues' girlfriends with their wigs, their makeup, designer bags. He imagined the laughter. His Sunday phone calls became shorter. "Adaeze, I'm busy with a project." Let me call you back." He stopped asking about the wedding date. When she brought it up, "Let me get one more promotion first. Senior coordinator. Then we can plan properly." "Chidi, it's been almost 2 years. You don't understand the pressure here. Just wait small." The frustration in his voice was new, foreign. Back in the village, Adaze's mother noticed the change. "His voice sounds different," she told her. "He's just stressed, Mama." "No, I hear shame in it. Shame of where he came from." Adaze's eyes filled with tears, but she refused to believe it. "He's not ashamed of me. He's just adjusting." Adjusting, that's what she called it. But what Chidi was really doing was erasing. Erasing the village, erasing the boat, erasing the woman who sold everything so he could have anything. And the woman who would help him complete that erasure, she was about to walk into his life wearing red bottoms and carrying a Louis Vuitton bag. Her name was Zainab Ibrahim, but on Instagram she was at ZZ_luxury. 47,000 followers. Every photo a masterpiece of filters, angles, and borrowed wealth. Zainab was what Lagos called a premium babe. Blonde Brazilian wig installed weekly at 80,000 naira. Makeup always camera ready, nails always done, coffin shape, latest designs. She worked as a brand influencer and events coordinator, which meant she got paid to look good at parties and post photos. She was 26 but looked ageless in photos and 35 in person before makeup. She was exactly what Chidi's colleagues said he needed. They met at a company networking event. Chidi's company had sent him to represent the operations team. A first time at such a high-level event. He wore his best suit. He was nervous, standing by the bar, trying to look comfortable. That's when Zainab approached. "You look lost," she said, her voice smooth like expensive whiskey. Chidi turned and nearly choked on his drink. She was breathtaking. Gold dress hugging every curve, wig flowing like a shampoo commercial. Makeup so perfect it looked like a mask. Perfume expensive and overwhelming. I'm not lost, just new to these events." "I can tell." She smiled, showing perfect white teeth. "You're too uncomfortable. Relax, these people are all faking it too." She extended a manicured hand. "Zainab, but everyone calls me ZZ. Chidi, Chidi Okafor." "Nice to meet you, Chidi Okafor," she teased. He laughed and something inside him relaxed. They talked for 2 hours. She asked about his work with impressive interest, or at least it seemed impressive to Chidi. She laughed at his jokes. She touched his arm when making points. She made him feel like he was the most interesting man in the room. "So where are you from originally?" she asked. This was the test. Chidi knew it. He could tell the truth. "I'm from Nembi, a tiny riverine village. My girlfriend is a fisher girl," or he could lie. "I'm from Bielsa, moved to Lagos 2 years ago for work." "Bielsa, I love the creeks. So peaceful, very different from Lagos chaos." She'd never been to Bielsa, but she knew how to make people feel comfortable. "You have a girlfriend?" she asked casually. Another test. Chidi's throat went dry. He thought of Adaeze waiting faithfully, but he also thought of Zainab, perfumed, polished, Instagram ready. When he thought of his colleagues' voices, "You need upgrade. It's, complicated," he finally said. Zainab smiled knowingly. Complicated usually means village girl back home who I'm outgrowing. Am I right? The words felt like a punch and a permission slip at the same time. How did you? Honey, I know Lagos boys. You all have the same story. Village girl who supported you when you had nothing. Now you're here and she's still there. And you're wondering if you made a mistake promising forever to someone who can't fit into your new life. She leaned closer. Here's what I'll tell you. Loyalty is beautiful, but it's also a trap. You're not the same person who left that village. You've grown. You've evolved. It's not betrayal to admit that you need someone who's evolved too. But she sacrificed everything. And that's amazing. Really, but sacrifice doesn't mean she owns your future. You can be grateful and still move forward. The way she said it made it sound so reasonable, so mature, so right. Look, Zainab pulled out her phone. Give me your number, no pressure, but I throw events all the time. Corporate stuff. You should come. Network. Meet people. Expand your circle. Chidi gave her his number. As she saved it, she said casually, and maybe leave the complicated situation back home where it belongs. Lagos is for fresh starts, baby. For the next 6 months, Chidi lived 2 lives. Life 1, the village boyfriend. Every 2 weeks, he'd send 20,000 naira to Adaeze's mother. Every month, he'd call Adaeze and talk about when I come home for Christmas and when we finally plan the wedding. He'd listen to her talk about fishing, about the village, and about waiting for him, and he'd feel nothing, or worse than nothing. Irritation. Her voice started sounding too slow, too simple, too village. Life 2, the Lagos babe's boyfriend. He started attending Zainab's events. Zainab introduced him to her world, a world where your value was measured by your Instagram aesthetic, your car, your ability to vibe. She never asked for money directly, but she'd mention things. My wig install is due, 80,000. Need a new outfit for Saturday. My rent is due next week. Landlord is wicked, 900,000 for that small apartment. Chidi started spending, not from obligation, but from fear. Fear that if he didn't, she'd find someone who would. He bought her hair. He bought her clothes. He paid half her rent once. His savings disappeared like water in sand. At night, alone in his apartment, he'd stare at his phone, Adaeze's name in his contacts, Zainab's Instagram story showing them together at a club. She'd tagged him, then quickly untagged. Don't want to stress you, babe. He knew what he was doing was wrong, but Zainab made it feel so right. She fit into his new life seamlessly. She spoke the language, wore the uniform, played the part. Adaeze would never fit here, would she? Then one Tuesday evening, Chidi's phone rang. His heart sank. Adaeze's mother never called him directly. Hello, Mama. Chidi, my son. How are you? I'm fine, Mama. Is everything okay? Long pause. Adaeze is pregnant. She's what? 4 months. You were home 6 months ago for that brief visit, yes? He remembered. That weekend when he came home, guilty, trying to reconnect with Adaeze before returning to Lagos and Zainab. One night together. One moment of connection. Mama, does she know I know? No, she's been trying to call you for 3 weeks. You haven't been answering. Chidi looked at his phone. 14 missed calls from Adaeze. He'd been avoiding them because he was with Zainab. Tell her I'll call her tomorrow. Let me process this. Chidi, her voice went cold. That girl sold our boat for you. She waits for you like a widow waits for a dead husband to resurrect. Now she's carrying your child. Don't make me regret selling that boat. The line went dead. Chidi sat in his apartment, head in his hands. Adaeze was pregnant, with his child, his real child. What would Zainab say? What would his colleagues say? What would... His phone buzzed. Zainab. Babe, there's a yacht party this Saturday. My friend's birthday. No, everyone's bringing their partner. You coming? He stared at the message, then at Adaece's name in his contacts. He had to choose. He called Zainab. Babe, about the yacht party. You're coming, right? Yeah, but listen. If anyone asks, we're just friends. Vibes. Nothing serious. Silence. Then Zainab's voice sharp. Excuse me? It's just, my company people will be there. I don't want office rumors. Chidi, I've been just vibes for 6 months. I've been patient because you said the village girlfriend was complicated. Is she still complicated? Or are you just playing me? No, I'm not. Then make it official. Claim me, or I'm done. The ultimatum hung in the air. Adaeze, pregnant, faithful, waiting. Zainab, demanding, beautiful, here. Give me 1 week, Chidi said. I need to handle something back home. And then I'll make everything official. I promise. 1 week, Chidi. Then I'm moving on. Lagos is full of men who know what they want. Chidi had 7 days to make a choice that would define his entire life. 7 days to decide between the woman carrying his child and the woman carrying his ego. And knowing what we know about weak men and beautiful lies, we already know which one he chose. Chidi decided he had to go home, not to make things right, but to make things final. He took a bus from Lagos to Bielsa on a Thursday evening. 6 hours of hell, sitting in silence, rehearsing the speech. Adaeze, I care about you, but we want different things. Adaeze, Lagos has changed me. I'm not the same person. Adaeze, I'll take care of the baby financially, but I can't marry you. Every version sounded evil in his head, and because they were. The bus dropped him at the village junction at midnight. He walked the familiar paths, now feeling foreign to him. Everything looked smaller, poorer, more limiting. He understood now why he'd been avoiding coming home. The village reminded him of who he used to be, and he didn't want to be that person anymore. Adaeze was already asleep when he arrived, but her mother was waiting on the veranda. So the big Lagos man finally came home. Good evening, Mama. Sit. He sat, feeling like a child about to be scolded. My daughter is 4 months pregnant. Her belly is starting to show. The whole village is talking, asking when the man who went to Lagos will come and do the right thing. Mama, I came to talk to her. Talk? Or break her heart? Chidi said nothing. She continued, I know that voice, Chidi. I've heard it before. It's the voice of a man who's already made his choice and is just here to deliver the bad news gently, to soothe his own guilt. It's not like that. Then tell me, are you marrying my daughter or not? Silence. I thought so. She stood. She's sleeping in the room. You can tell her your decision in the morning. But know this, whatever you choose tomorrow, your child will know. One day he will ask, why did my father reject my mother? And what will you tell him? That she wasn't polished enough? That she smelled like fish instead of perfume? That she loved you when you had nothing, and you repaid her with nothing? She walked inside, leaving Chidi alone in the dark. Dawn came too quickly. Adaeze woke up and found Chidi sitting on the veranda. For a moment, joy flooded her face. Chidi! And you came. Then she saw his expression. The joy died. You're not staying, are you? Adaeze, sit. We need to talk. She sat slowly, hand instinctively going to her small belly. I know about the baby, he started. I tried to tell you. You weren't answering my calls. I know. I'm sorry. I've been busy. Too busy for me? Too busy for your child? Chidi looked away. Lagos has changed me, Adaeze. I'm not the same person who left this village. I know, I can see it. You look different. You sound different. You even smell different. I'm trying to build something there. Something bigger than this village. And I need someone who understands that world. There's another woman. It wasn't a question. Chidi's silence confirmed it. Adeeze's laugh was bitter. Who is she? Let me guess. City girl, makeup, wig, high heels. Or speaks English like a CNN reporter. Takes pictures for Instagram, right? Am I right? Yes, he admitted quietly. Adaeze stood up. Chidi expected tears, screaming, begging. Instead, she straightened her wrapper with quiet grace. Do you love her? I don't know. Maybe. She fits into my life. Your new life. The life I paid for with my mother's fishing boat. I'll pay you back. With what? Money? You think this is about money? Chidi, I sold that boat because I believed in you. Not in what you could become. In who you were. The man who sat on the riverbank and dreamed of building houses for his mother. The man who cried when the village boys mocked him. The man who held my hand and promised he'd never forget where he came from. That man, I loved him. I would have followed him anywhere. I would have learned to fit into his Lagos life if he'd asked me to try. But this man standing in front of me, this man who's ashamed of fish in rivers and villages, this man who hides me from his phone calls and his friends, I don't know him, and I don't want to. Chidi's voice broke. What about the baby? The baby will be fine. I will raise him the way my mother raised me, with dignity, with love, with the understanding that real value isn't measured by wigs and expensive perfumes. But just when Chidi thought it was over, just when he thought he could return to Lagos with minimal guilt, Adaeze was about to say something that would haunt him for the rest of his life. 7 words that would echo every time he looked at himself in the mirror. Adaeze looked Chidi in the eyes one final time. You will succeed in Lagos. Yes, you will have money. You will have the city woman with her makeup and her Instagram. You will have everything you think you want. But you will never have peace. Chidi felt a chill despite the morning heat. What do you mean? I mean that money built on betrayal is cursed. Success built on shame never lasts. You will climb, yes, but you will never stop looking over your shoulder, wondering when it will all fall apart. Adaeze, don't curse me. I'm not cursing you. I'm telling you the truth. The ancestors don't bless men who abandon pregnant women. Life doesn't reward men who forget where they came from. Lagos won't save you from yourself. Her mother had been listening from the doorway. She stepped forward, her voice carrying the weight of generations. Kuna, my grandfather used to say, the man who is ashamed of the canoe that brought him across the river will drown trying to swim back. She looked at Chidi with pity, not anger. You think Lagos is forward, but you're drowning, son. You just don't know it yet. I'm not ashamed. Then why didn't you tell your Lagos woman about Adaeze? Why didn't you bring her home to meet your mother? Why do you send money secretly instead of proudly? Why do you return to this village like a thief in the night? Every question was an arrow. You're ashamed, and that shame will eat you alive. Chidi had no response. He reached into his pocket and pulled out an envelope. This is 200,000 naira. For the baby, for medical care, for whatever you need. Adaeze looked at the envelope like it was contaminated. Keep your guilt money. Adaeze, please. Take it for the child. The child will be fine. We don't need your money. Chidi walked away without looking back. 6 hours later, Chidi was back in Lagos. He called Zainab immediately. Babe, I handled everything. I'm ready to make us official. Zainab's squeal of delight echoed through the phone. Finally, okay, we need to make this Instagram official. That weekend, they posted their first official couple photo. Zainab, full glam, designer dress. Chidi looking uncomfortable but committed. The likes poured in. Everyone congratulated him on his beautiful, polished city girlfriend. And 300 kilometers away, in a small village by the river, a pregnant woman saw the photo. She didn't cry. She didn't scream. She simply closed her phone, touched her belly, and whispered to her unborn child, Your father chose glitter over gold, but you and I, we are gold, and gold never loses value, even when fools can't recognize it. The Instagram celebration lasted exactly 3 weeks. Then the first crack appeared, then the second. Then the entire facade began to crumble, and when it did, Chidi would learn exactly what Adaeze meant by, you will never have peace. Being Zainab's official boyfriend was expensive, more expensive than Chidi had ever imagined. She needed a new phone. Her iPhone 15 was old and embarrassing. iPhone 17, Pro Max, 650,000 naira. Chidi paid half. Her birthday. She wanted to shut down Lagos. Venue rental, decorations, bottles for her friends. Chidi paid for everything. A couple's vacation to Dubai she'd been dreaming of forever. Flights, hotel, shopping, Chidi took a loan from his company. In 3 months, Chidi had spent more on Zainab than he'd saved in 2 years. His salary, 280,000 naira. His expenses, rent, 100,000. Zainab's demands, 200,000 plus. Food, transport, basics, 80,000. He was spending 380,000 naira monthly on a 280,000 naira salary. The math didn't work. He stopped sending money to his mother. He stopped sending money to Adaeze for the baby. He took loans, small ones at first, 50,000 here, 100,000 there, then bigger ones. Zainab never paid for anything. When bills came at restaurants, she'd suddenly need to use the restroom. When they went shopping, she'd pick items and hand them to him to pay. When rent was due, she'd call him crying, "Babe, my landlord is threatening me. Can you help? I'll pay you back." She never paid back. And worse, she was never satisfied. One evening, Chidi went to surprise Zainab at her apartment. He knocked. No answer. But he heard voices inside, and laughter. A man's laughter. His heart hammered. He knocked louder. "Babe, I know you're in there." The door opened. Zainab stood there in a robe, hair wrapped, looking annoyed. "Chidi, why are you here? I told you I was resting." "Who's inside?" "Nobody." A voice from inside. "ZZ, who's at the door?" A man appeared, tall, well-dressed. "Your expensive watch." "Who's this?" the man asked, looking at Chidi like he was an inconvenience. "He's a friend," Zainab said quickly. "A friend?" Chidi's voice cracked. "I'm your boyfriend." The man laughed. "Boyfriend? ZZ, I thought you said you were single." Zainab's face went through multiple expressions. Panic, calculation, decision. Then she chose. "Chidi, we need to talk, but not here, not now." "Who is he?" The man answered, "I'm Chief Adaeze. I've been seeing Zainab for 4 months. Paid her rent for the year." "Who are you?" 4 months. That meant she'd been with him even before Chidi made them official. The Dubai trip. Chidi paid for flights. Chief paid for the 5-star hotel. The birthday party? Chidi paid for bottles. Chief paid for the venue and decorations. The phone? Chidi paid half. Chief probably paid for the other half. She'd been double dipping. "Zainab, tell me this isn't true." She sighed, the mask finally dropping. "Chidi, you're a nice guy, but nice doesn't pay bills. Chief has real money. You were supplementary." "Supplementary?" "Look, I told you Lagos is expensive. You think one man can afford me? Please." All the sweetness, all the "babe, I love you," all the Instagram couple goals. It was all performance. Chief Adaeze put his arm around Zainab. "Young man, no hard feelings. But you should learn now. Lagos babes like ZZ don't do loyalty. They do luxury. Can you afford luxury?" Chidi couldn't speak. "I thought not. Let me handle her from here. You can go." As Chidi turned to leave, broken and humiliated, Zainab called out, "Chidi, wait. The 150,000 you borrowed last month? I actually still need that back. Can you send it by Friday?" She wasn't joking. She actually expected him to pay back money she'd scammed from him. He walked out without responding. Behind him, he heard her laugh and Chief's voice. "Don't worry about him. Small boys like that are always emotional." Chidi walked into the Lagos night, broken and alone. He'd lost everything chasing nothing. Chidi sat in his apartment, staring at his phone. He'd lost Zainab, or rather, he'd discovered he never had her. He'd lost his savings. He'd lost his dignity. But he was about to discover he'd lost something much bigger. His phone rang at 2 a.m., unknown number. He almost didn't answer, but something made him pick up. "Hello? Is this Chidi Okafor?" A woman's voice, tired, sad. "Yes. Who is this?" "This is Nurse Blessing from General Hospital, Yenagoa. I'm calling about Adaeze." "What happened? Is she okay? Is the baby?" "She went into premature labor. 7 months. There were complications. The baby is alive but needs immediate care in the ICU. The bill is 450,000 naira." "And Adaeze?" Long pause. She's stable, but she's asking for you. She's been asking for you since they brought her in. Chidi's hands shook. I'll send money. Give me the account details. Mr. Okafor, she doesn't need your money. Her mother sold the house to cover the bill. What she needs is you. She keeps saying your name. Where is Chidi? I want Chidi. The nurse's voice cracked slightly. Sir, I'm not supposed to say this, but that woman loved you. She still loves you, even after everything. The line went dead. Chidi sat in the dark, phone in hand. He'd spent 1.2 million naira on a woman who was sleeping with someone else, while the woman who truly loved him nearly died alone. He'd bought Zainab designer bags and Dubai trips, while his own child fought for life in an incubator. He'd posted couple photos for Instagram likes, while the mother of his child called his name from a hospital bed. He checked his account balance, 23,000 naira. He'd just been paid, but after loan deductions and debts, this was all that remained. He couldn't even afford bus fare to Bielsa. Chidi had never felt more alone. He sold everything he could. His TV, his laptop, his shoes, clothes, watch. Enough for bus fare and a little extra. He left Lagos the next morning with one small bag. Everything he'd built in 3 years, reduced to one bag. Just like when he'd arrived. The 6-hour bus ride was torture. He rehearsed what he'd say to Adaeze. I'm sorry felt too small. I was wrong felt too obvious. Please forgive me felt too entitled. What do you say to a woman you destroyed? He reached the hospital at 4 p.m. His mother was in the waiting area. She stood when she saw him but didn't embrace him. She's in room 7. The baby is in ICU. You have 10 minutes. She needs rest. Mama, 10 minutes, Chidi. Don't upset her. He pushed open the door to room 7. Adaeze lay in the bed, looking small and fragile. She'd lost weight. Her eyes had dark circles. But when she saw him, something flickered. Not joy, but relief. You came, she whispered. I came. You saw our son? Not yet. I wanted to see you first. She smiled weakly. He's beautiful, Chidi. He has your eyes, your father's nose. I'm so sorry, Adaeze. Stop. Her voice was gentle but firm. Sorry doesn't fix anything. Sorry doesn't pay the hospital bill. Sorry doesn't erase the Instagram photos. Sorry is just a word. Do you love her? The city woman? Chidi wanted to lie, but he owed her truth. I thought I did, but it wasn't love. It was image, status, ego. And now? Now I know the difference. Now I understand what you meant. Real versus fake, gold versus glitter. And what am I, Chidi? Am I the gold you came back to because the glitter faded? Or am I the woman you chose because you finally saw my value? I came back because I lost everything. I came back because I had nowhere else to go. I came back because I'm ashamed and broken and I don't know who I am anymore. But I also came back because you were right about everything. About her, about me, about Lagos, about peace. I don't have peace, Adaeze. I can't sleep. I can't breathe. Every time I close my eyes, I see your face when I chose her over you. I hear your voice telling me I'd never have peace. And you were right. Adaeze had a choice, the same choice many women face. Take back the man who destroyed you, or walk away with dignity. What she said next would determine both their futures. And the answer? It might not be what you expect. Adaeze looked at Chidi for a long time. Then she spoke. I forgave you the day you left the village with my mother's boat money. I forgave you not because you deserved it, but because I needed to release the anger to survive. Because our son needs a mother with peace in her heart, not poison. But forgiveness doesn't mean reconciliation, Chidi. It doesn't mean I trust you. It doesn't mean I forget. I understand. I don't think you do. Let me be very clear. You can be a father to our son. You can visit. You can provide. You can love him. I will never stop you from being his father because every child deserves one. But you and me, we're done. That story ended the day you posted her on Instagram. The day you chose shame over love. Adaeze, please. Please what? Take you back? Be your village backup plan now that Lagos spit you out? Spend the rest of my life wondering when the next city woman with makeup and Instagram followers will steal you again? I would never. You already did. And people show you who they are when tested. You were tested, Chidi, and you failed. My grandmother used to say, a man who throws away a ripe mango to chase a painted stone will come back hungry. But the mango has already been picked by someone who knows its worth. I'm not your backup plan. I'm not your redemption project. And I'm not the village girl waiting to heal the city boy's mistakes. I'm a mother now. My priority is my son, not fixing broken men who don't even know they're broken until they crash. What can I do? How do I prove I've changed? You don't prove it to me. You prove it to yourself. You rebuild your life with honesty this time. You learn to value substance over image. You raise your son to never make your mistakes. And maybe in 5 years, 10 years, if you've truly transformed, if you've truly learned, we can revisit this conversation. But today you need to leave. Chidi nodded, tears streaming. Can I at least see our son before I go? Room 12, ICU. Chidi went to the ICU. Through the glass, he saw a tiny baby in an incubator. His son, his blood. The child he'd nearly lost because he was chasing Instagram likes. He stood there for an hour, just watching. Watching the only real thing he'd ever created. 2 years later, Chidi still lives in Lagos. But he's different. He left the oil company, couldn't face the colleagues who'd encourage his worst self. Now he works as a logistics coordinator. Smaller salary, quieter life, humbler existence. He sends 50,000 naira every month to Adaeze for his kid. He visits the village every 3 months, spends the weekend with his son, never pressures Adaeze for more than she's willing to give. He deleted Instagram. No more performance, no more image, just quiet work, quiet growth, quiet repentance. Adaeze rebuilt. She started a small fish processing business, smoking and packaging fish for sale in cities. Her brand, River Gold Smoked Fish. The irony wasn't lost on her. Within 2 years, she's supplying restaurants across 3 states. She bought back her mother's fishing boat, then bought 2 more. She's not rich, but she's stable, respected, at peace. So what did we learn? The woman who sells her boat for your dream deserves a seat in the boat you build. Loyalty isn't old-fashioned, it's timeless. And the person who loves you when you're nobody has more value than 1,000 people who'll love you when you're somebody. Chidi learned that Instagram love isn't real love, that glitter isn't gold, that the village girl with rough hands and a pure heart is worth more than the city girl with designer bags and a rented personality. Adaeze learned that walking away from disrespect isn't giving up, it's self-respect, that some men need to lose you to find themselves, and that you don't wait for men to recognize your value. You know it and you move accordingly. Remember, the woman who believes in you when you have nothing deserves everything when you have something. Don't forget who prayed for you in the dark. Don't forget who sacrificed their boat so you could sail. And never ever trade gold for glitter, because glitter washes off in the rain. But gold lasts forever. What do you think? Should Adaeze have taken Chidi back, or did she make the right choice? Let us know in the comments, and subscribe for more real stories about real people, real mistakes, and real consequences.